All right, welcome in everybody. Um, I'd like to so I want to start by first I do think some people in here are not following each other. I want to make sure you guys all get people who are joining the Zoom to follow you. So please put your social medias down below so we can follow you as well if we're not yet. Um, and then the other thing is, where is Charlotte, Matt? We want to see your faces. Justin, Montoya, we want to see your face. Marian, welcome back in. How you doing?
Good. Hi. Thank you.
All right. Did you buy any houses from
I
last
put an
week?
offer yesterday on one, and then I am a backup offer at this moment, so I'm waiting.
Nice.
Still
In what
searching
area?
two more. I actually bought it in St. Mary. Well, I put an offer in St. Mary's, Georgia. It was a decent deal, uh, but somebody put more money on it, so we'll see. If
It's
it's
a
meant
single
to be, we'll
family
come back.
house?
So I'm still searching for two more. I need two more before the year end, so we'll see if I find.
Okay.
Miriam, do you overpay for deals? I have one for you.
Do I overpay for deals?
Yes.
We all do sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, it's the deals are always tight. They're
Yeah.
always too tight.
So what you got?
Oh shoot. Actually, I don't know if we have anything in Jacksonville right now.
We're actually, so I just got a call back from a seller right before I jumped on this call, and they're ready to sign an agreement on a house in 32202. It's
Ooh.
just a little neighborhood in downtown. It's
Are
a
you gonna
shit
do the
shack
call on
house.
this Zoom?
Well, they already agreed to sign, but one of the signers is the aunt, and she doesn't have an email. So we need to. I'm gonna call her back, and we're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna get this signed. Maybe we'll ask him to come down to the office or something like that. So we'll try to make that call.
Also, Sam, we got my boy Justin Montoya in the building, and he just wrote a wholesaling book. So we definitely have to pick his brain a little bit too. Guys, give a shout out to Justin and give a follow to Justin.
Justin, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, we can't hear you. I think you're muted,
Sorry,
Justin.
yeah, I'm muted. What did you say? Sorry.
We were saying we need to pick your brain. You wrote a wholesaling book?
I did. I'm about to publish it. It should be published really soon. Really
What is
soon.
it?
Okay. I think I got
Oh,
a
you just
lag there.
froze. You just froze,
Yeah.
Sam. You're frozen.
But
Saying
Yeah,
what?
he
I
said,
think
what is the book about? Oh, there you go. You popped back in.
uh so it's about, finding a mentor or partnering with a mentor and doing, six figures a year in wholesaling real estate, you know. So a lot of it's I think a lot of people, if partnering with someone is really helpful when doing, real estate deals, JVing. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential there for that. So, that's kind of the idea of the book was for me to partner with people on deals that, especially new people that they're beginning, they don't really know what they're doing, running the numbers, doing comps, doing stuff like that. So, and how to start a wholesale business, you know, from the ground up. So,
Nice. Do all the
yeah.
participants of the Zoom get a copy of the book for free?
No, I don't really have I don't have the book out yet, so I can't even do that. But I have to share the link with Dominic, and if you guys are interested in there, we'll see what I can do.
Perfect.
We'll see what I can
Perfect.
do. I'm not into just giving away money normally, but you know, yeah, I'm actually
All
sitting
right.
out. I'm sitting outside of a house right now that I'm getting ready to that I'm selling right now. I just had enough time
Well, you
for
should
this.
walk us through the house, Justin.
You want to do a walkthrough on the house?
Hell yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
see here.
While you walk through, Sam has a bunch of stuff to talk to the group about. Was it Trump and Diddy you were going to focus on today, Sam?
No.
Oh, okay. My
I know
bad.
they
That
were
was the
talking
that
about
was the other group
crypto.
that you're a part of.
As soon as you put on the mask, now you can make inappropriate comments. You
All
think
right,
you're gonna get away with them?
he's
Alright.
he's sounding more like a Democrat now. Huh?
Yeah.
He's sounding like a
I-
liberal. No,
We love all
oh my gosh.
parties.
What's
All
that?
right, so
Funny.
I do want to get to the colon part here shortly. Before that, I want to, and then talk, Justin, if you want to start the walkthrough, we'll love to
Sure, I'll
take a
do
look
it.
at the
Yeah,
house that
I
you
can
got.
tell you guys about the house too. This is a great neighborhood in Kansas City. It's actually called Brookside. It's one of the better neighborhoods in Kansas City. And I don't know. I mean, it's not like the prices in Florida, but it's a nice neighborhood. And I feel like they're kind of overpriced, but probably not to like what Florida's like. So,
So
but
you
yeah,
bought
I'll
this
tell you.
house and you're flipping it?
No, I'm wholesaling this house actually right now. I
Okay.
got it under contract a couple days ago. I got the title commitment yesterday, or maybe even
Mm-hmm.
this morning, actually. And now I'm about to sell it the next day. So, and I'm probably going to close really quickly because I'm going to find an actual cash buyer on this house.
You already
Not,
have a buyer, or you're still looking for a buyer?
no, I've got people lined up. I mean, I just had a guy come through, and I'm going to have like 2 or 3 more people come through here really shortly.
Nice.
Here in
How
about
much money you think you're gonna make on it?
this deal, probably about my goal is to make about 20,000, maybe more.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what do you have this locked up at?
I got this one at 216. It's a 3 bedroom, 2.5 or 2 bath. Sorry, it's a nice little 2 door house. The Tudor, it's TUDOR.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, it's different kind of style. But the
And you
ARV
said it's
on
in
this,
Kansas, right? Kansas City?
that would be Missouri,
Oh, Kansas, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, where the Chiefs play.
Okay. Looks
Yeah,
clean.
so it's got hardwood floors.
So who you're gonna sell it to?
This
Like a
goes,
landlord buyer?
yeah, I've got some flippers that may sell to. I've also got some buy and hold buyer that was interested in it.
Okay. And how'd you get
So
this
it's
deal
just,
under contract? How'd you find this deal?
I got it through my website.
Hmm.
I
It
do
was
a
an
lot of
organic lead?
SEO. Yeah, I do a lot of SEO, and it's kind of how I get a lot of my deals
Nice.
through SEO. So
Nice. We just recently started doing a
this
little
year,
bit of SEO.
yeah, I think I'm really pretty good at it. So that's something along with wholesaling. I feel like I've, in a way, kind of mastered it. You know what I mean? It's like another one of my skills. And that's something else that I talk about in my book. And I'm thinking about actually buying a digital marketing company too, to help people with digital marketing. This is a upstairs
Nice.
bedroom.
Nice.
So 3, and there's this is a closet, which is kind of
Yeah,
weird, but
that's a cute, nice little house. So basically, you got
yeah.
this under contract for 216. You're gonna sell it for about 236. You have some buyers lined up who are gonna come see it,
Mhm.
and you got the lead from your website as an organic lead who just clicked on
Yep.
your website, filled out a form. You called them, and you got it under contract.
They called me. Yeah. Yeah. Might have filled out a form. I don't think they did actually, but I think they just called me and I
Nice.
started talking to them and
And why
yeah.
is this seller selling? What's their motivation?
I'm actually sure on this one. People have been asking me that, but I can't even remember what she said or why she's selling it, to be honest with you. I just was like, oh, you know what? Her motivation was she put it on the market. She tried to list the property with a real estate agent, and the agent had listed the property too high. and it
Or
didn't
how much?
sell. I think it was around, like, she had it all the way up to like 330 or something, and dropped it
Wow.
all the way down to 300, and then, which was way too high, obviously, because this may sell for like 375 or so once it's rehabbed and all that. So there
Mhm.
was no way she was going to get, 330 or 300 out of it or whatever, the way it is
I
right now,
gotcha.
because it's out of date. But yeah, so, a guy I was talking to that I've done deals with before, we were talking about it. It's funny because, I was kind of making fun of real estate agents because a lot of times to get a listing, they'll tell anybody anything. They'll say, "Oh yeah, you want to list it for 100 million? Oh yeah, let me just put it on the market for that." They'll kind of tell you anything to list your house, and this is where it really backfired.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
call it buying someone's business. When they're trying to buy somebody's business, they just give you a
Mhm.
high price with no
Yep,
regard. Okay.
that makes sense.
So nice. Well,
Mhm.
hopefully next week when we do our Zoom, you'll have this closed out, huh?
Yeah, I hope to. I mean, honestly, that it was cool because I was talking to this guy earlier. He was saying probably since it was on the market, um, I was able to get the title work back like the next day. I dropped earnest money on it yesterday, and I've already got the title work back. So it took
Wow.
less than a day to get the
Wow.
title work
Nice.
back. So it's already back. So it's free and clear, ready to roll. So if I find a cash buyer that's willing to put the money down tomorrow, I mean, we can be closed by the end of the week. It's possible. I don't know if it'll happen, but you know what I mean? It'll be by next week, let's say, or whatever. I mean, it'll be fast. So
Cool, man. Well, that's a nice story. I hope that deal works out for you. Seems like you got it at a good deal and you have buyers lined up.
yeah, I don't see why not.
Nice job, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, so today what I wanted to do is I wanted to chat a little bit about, you know, sales tactics that we use
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when we get deals under contract
Mm-hmm.
and basically what we look for and what we do when we're getting
Mm-hmm.
these deals under contract. So one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that you touched upon is, people usually have high hopes when they're selling a property, and that's the most common type of seller out there that
Mm-hmm.
you would
Yeah.
encounter. It's just
Yeah.
somebody that is asking for too high of a purchase price, and they
Yeah.
just don't really know um, what what the property is really worth and what they should be selling it to a cash
Mm-hmm.
buyer, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do when I encounter something like that is I try to pick their brain about
Mhm.
what agents have they spoke to already and what realtors have they spoke to already. Because
Yeah.
whenever you're talking to realtors, um,
Yeah.
they usually do what you just said, which is buy your business, right? And
Yeah.
they give you high hopes and high expectations just to sign a listing agreement. And then I go through that scenario with the seller and I basically paint them a picture as to what they're going to go through and what they're going to have to go through
Right.
if they
Yeah.
list with an agent and what they're even going to net if they list with an agent.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way agents pitch things is they give gross numbers, which are higher numbers, and they don't tell the sellers in most cases what they're actually going to walk away with. So when I'm talking to sellers, I do it in reverse, and I tell them that I do it in reverse. So even when I'm asking them for mortgage information and lien information, I explain to them that, hey, the reason I need this information is because we do the exact opposite of what a real estate agent would do. They would come in and they would give you all these high numbers, and then you go to the closing table and you're not even walking away with what you expected to walk away with. So instead, we will give you a number you will walk away with at closing of escrow, and that number is the number that you're actually going to put in your pocket. So
Right.
it's not a number that we're going to list your property for or anything like that. We just give you a number you walk away with at closing, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're talking to sellers, especially the ones that do need to sell and they have to sell quick, typically that's one of the biggest objection handles is bringing up the realtor scenario on your own. So asking them to see if they have already spoken to a real estate agent. Because I
Right.
don't know how many real estate agents are in
That's
the
a
US.
great, I love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. Because a lot of times what I've noticed is they kind of keep that in their back pocket, or as I would say, they try to keep that ace up their sleeve, because it's kind of like a card game. When you're selling a house, a lot of these people, they won't show you their cards. They won't tell you that, hey, I've had a couple of offers. I've had 2 or 3 other offers. I've talked to a real estate agent. He's came out to comp my house and blah, 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 and all that. I mean, so yeah, that's a great move. You're kind of just bringing it up and addressing it and get it out of the way. I love it. I mean, I do that. I do that as well because I want to know, hey, have you had any other offers? What are you expecting? Because a lot of these people, they already have like a number in their mind that they're looking to get, or that they think they should get. They have a certain expectation, and they've probably already been through some of the process, but they don't fully know how it works. So yeah, I love that. That's great. Yeah.
Right. In a lot of cases, I've spoken to, so there were people in this group. I think one of the most recent ones, and I don't know if they're here right now, Carp and Yassine, are also participating in our weekly Zooms. I don't know if they're here
Mhm.
right now, but
Mhm.
recently they sent us a deal and they sent me all the details of the house, condition, everything pretty much. And then they're like, well, what can we do with this? And I'm like, well, what's the
Mhm.
asking price from the seller? And
Yeah.
then they go, well, there's no asking price. They want an offer from us. And I'm like, that's not possible. How can
Yeah.
you have a house, you want to sell your house, and you don't have a price that you're asking to sell your house for?
Mhm.
That means you don't really want to sell your house, or the person that you spoke with, um, you're not telling them the information. You're fishing
Or,
for them to give you information.
or they're just playing games with you, which a lot of these people will, because they're like, I guess I would say they want you to shoot yourself in the foot kind of deal. It's like, who will shoot themselves in the foot first, me or you, Because if you come out, that's a hard situation because, what I've learned, if you come out with this high offer, you're you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But so you don't want to come out with the highest offer. You want to figure out where they're at and see if you can meet them there. I agree 100% with what you're saying because a lot of times, these wholesalers or investors, they'll come out kind of swinging, and it's like they offer way too much money for the house, and really they can't even get the deal done at the number they're trying to offer the person. Like you said, they're just trying to buy the business at that
Right.
point. And it's like that never works.
Right.
I agree with you. What you're saying, that's it. Yep.
Cool. Cool. So I want to ask, where is, do we have Tony here or he left? Where's Antonio?
Yeah, Tony's in.
I'm still here.
All right. Hey, Antonio. So one of the people I want to call today is the guy that you brought to my attention
Yeah. The other
this week.
Sam.
Yeah, the Sam.
The other Sam.
So basically Tony had a lead and I guess he texted it to me and then I looked at the property and I was like, well, I recognize this house. So what happened was this guy had come into our system like 4 months ago, back in June. And I talked to him and I followed up with him multiple times. And last time I spoke to him, so he started ghosting me, right? After I made him the offer and he was going to talk to his wife.
Oh,
And
man.
I was trying to get the wife back on the line. So he ghosted me and then I started calling him. This is another sales tactic that we always use. I started calling him from different numbers. So I caught him.
Oh, nice.
So I caught the
Good
guy. I
stuff.
talked to
Wow.
him again, and he
Yeah.
told me that, hey, I already sold the property to a developer,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's really a shack house on a parcel of land, and the house is not worth as much as the land is worth, right? The land is worth more money, and the best use is to just take the house down and just develop the land, right? Now, he told me that he already got a contract with the developer for $200,000. Our offer was $108,000 to him. So
Okay.
then I basically put him in a dead stage, and I was expecting the AI to follow up with him and then get him back on the line. But before that happened, Tony called me and he said he spoke to this guy and he's wanting to sell, right? So my mistake in that call was the fact that I didn't ask the guy, hey, did you actually already get paid on this transaction, or you're just under contract with somebody? Because he might have not been lying and he was actually selling to somebody, but he didn't close on it. So it could have been a wholesaler that actually did give him a high number just to lock it up and try to shop it and never performed, right? And then Tony brought it to my attention. So I told him we have it in our system. But at the same time, if we can get this deal done, I'd still love to give the deal to Tony. And then if he decides to JV with us, we'll JV and we'll help him get this sold. So that's probably one of the first calls I'd want to make. Now, we were debating a little bit as to should I make that call or should I give it to Tony? Because the guy told me that he was selling and he was ghosting me too. But I feel like I can revamp that conversation and get him back on track with us. So
Fine
let
either
me-
way, honestly. But yeah, if you're okay to.
So you spoke to him too, right?
I did. Yeah, he's a bit prickly, like not in a
He gives you short answers. on
yeah,
almost
short
everything.
answers, not really like very forthcoming with information, stuff like this. But I did get out of him that he has received offers 80 to 120,000. He's like kind of dangling the idea of going to a real estate agent in front of me as well. So just a little bit of info for you.
Cool. So let's go ahead. Let me share my screen and let's start it off with calling this dude.
Oh, and obviously I'll do a JV with you guys if it works.
Okay. Let's share screen one. All right, perfect. Boom. All right, let's give this guy a call.
Please leave your message for Please leave your message for
I think he blocked you.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna call from another number. Hey. Hello, Sam?
Yes.
Hey, Sam. This is Sam as well. I was calling to, we had spoken, it was a few months ago. I was calling to see what happened with 103 West 8th Street.
I still have it. Still up for sale, I guess.
Oh, really? You didn't sell it yet?
No, not yet.
I gotcha. I believe last time you and I had spoken, and this is just my memory, so don't hold me to this, but I believe last time you and I had spoken, you mentioned that you were selling it to a developer. Did that fall through?
I don't remember that.
Okay. Maybe I have it confused, but that's what I recalled on this, because you and I had spent quite a lot of time on the phone. You may not remember me, but I just remember it because I remember the property very vividly. and I've underwrote this, and I took it to my business partner who does all of the land development along with me. And we even, I believe, made you an offer. I'd have to pull my notes up to see what the offer was. But I basically wanted to see.
How long was this?
Man, that was probably back in July. So months
July.
ago.
And what was
Yeah.
your offer?
So I'd have to pull the notes up to see. So can you catch me up to speed as to has anything changed at all since our first conversation?
No, just the tenant's lease is up, so they're getting ready to leave.
Okay. And have you, because last time we spoke, you also mentioned that you were going to speak this over with your wife. Did you chat the sale over with her?
Well, probably, maybe I have, maybe I did, I'm not sure. I mean, I do have it up there with other people calling me every day too to find out the sale and stuff like that, so it all depends on the offer. Yes, I might have to go back to it.
Okay. Have you guys discussed getting this under contract and sold within a particular time frame? Because I believe the first time we spoke, you were telling me that you really wanted to sell within about 30 to 60 days. Obviously, it's been more time than that. So as of now, as it sits now, and I think also somebody was living in the property, or that's not accurate?
Well, I just told you the lease is up.
Got it. So the lease is up. So did you guys discuss a time frame as to when you would want the sale to go through and when you'd want to get paid?
Well, it would have to be the 30 days.
30 days?
Yeah.
Okay, that's totally doable. And what's the asking price right now?
I still don't have a set price. Like I said, I'm entertaining offers. I need to know what was your offer before we go any further. Because if your offer lines up with the other people's offer, it's still gonna be no.
What was the other people's offers? What's the highest
I'm
one
not
you've
gonna-
received so far?
I'm not gonna say that unless I hear what your offer is.
Well, my offer, I believe I even put in writing and over an email with you. I just have to go pull it up and find it. That's not difficult at all. But I don't want this to feel like we're working against each other. I'd want to see if I can make your expectations
Well,
happen. Because I'll go back to
need
my
to know
partner
what
and I'll say, hey, I spoke with Sam. He's ready to move forward. This is the number that he's looking to get for the property.
Well, let me know what number you have.
So
I'll
you-
tell
you-
if we're gonna do that or not.
You want me to pull my number up first?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this, though. If we come to an agreement on price and terms, do we need to talk to your wife too, or how are we going to do this? Because the first time we spoke was back in June, and now is November, and the property's still not sold, but you told me last time you were going to sell it in 30 days.
Well, I said I would sell it in 30 days if I accept an offer.
For us to do business. Hello?
Yeah, you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, what I was saying is, if we had made you an offer and you didn't accept our offer then that means that we couldn't do business at the time. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to push to see if I can get a number approved from our side, and then we can do business, because I can't just continue to shoot numbers to you and then you just shoot me down.
Well, like I said, if it's anything close to the first number you tell me, then it's going to be a waste of your time. If it's anything higher, I'll see if I can take it into consideration.
Okay.
But
How
from
much
there,
higher
I'll
does
tell you
it
yes.
how much higher does it have to be? I think
If
the
we're gonna-
range
if-
we had
If we're
the
gonna,
range we had last time was 100 to 110,000.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay.
So
So
people
what is
already
going to
beat
work?
your offer- People already beat your offer to 150,000, and that's not even the highest.
Who beat my offer by 150,000?
Another company.
Okay. Are they ready to close?
If I tell them yes, I guess so, but I still haven't told them yes because I'm waiting on some other offers to come in.
So then what is the offer that you're looking to get?
I don't know. It depends on who come in with the highest. And once more, I'll go back to a real estate and ask them this.
So how much, so what's your expectation? Are you trying to get them from 100 to 200, from 100 to 300, from 300 to a million?
Well, the highest would be the best. What would be your expectation for you to make money?
It's super simple. I mean, the lot can be subdivided into two. $250,000 around that area if it's 1,200 square feet, and we typically pay about 20% of what the lot value is.
Well, 250,000 is what's going to cost you to build a house, and that's what you're going to be selling it for. Because right down
That's
the block,
what-
somebody just bought the lot, and the house is going for over $300,000-400,000. So if you find a house for $250,000 that's newly built and it might like you, guess what? I'll buy it.
So can you give me an address that I can look at?
Like I said, these new houses, the house that I have there is no longer. They all tear them down and put up new construction. Matter of
Okay.
fact, there's a lot right across the street from that. It had a number. I can't really remember the number. But maybe you can see the lot sold for $135,000, half the size of mine, and now it's selling for $160,000. Just the lot, and it's not even the size of my property.
Really? Let me see. Let me take a look
And
at it.
they changed the zoning community, so it's no longer residential.
Okay. So I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like it's a 2-bed, 2-bath house that sold for $160,000, not a lot, in front of yours, if that's what you're
Yeah,
talking
but guess
about.
what? How much are they selling it? And they tear the house down, and they just have the lot. How much are they selling the lot for? For the house is not there no more.
The house is not there no more.
Nope.
Okay. I'm still seeing the house. But you're saying it's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore. They tear the house down when they bought it.
Okay. So I'm looking at a property right now that's 1,200 square feet that just sold for $260,000, which is a new construction home. 1,218 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath, right behind you on 7th Street. On 141st West 7th Street. So
I'm
that's
not
one of the
familiar with
comps.
that. I'm not familiar with 7th Street or 5th Street.
Okay.
I'm more to the.
Okay. And I'm also looking at 2 lots, and each one of them sold for $45,000 back in June, also on 7th Street, and both of them are buildable lots. 2 together. They're already fully cleared, and they don't need any demolition of any houses on them.
Oh, okay. No, that's good. What's the size of the lot? What's the zoning?
Single family house. The zoning is for a single family
what's the-
house. The size of the lot.
What's the size
okay.
of the lot?
The size of the lot is almost 9,000 square feet per lot.
Oh, full lot. Okay. So we're talking almost a half an acre. Not even half a acre. We're talking almost an acre of my property. And the zoning for that house is just residential. The zoning for my lot is mixed use for residential and commercial.
Yeah, but that's not what it's dependent on. Your lot still has to be subdivided and cleared from a single family house. And on top of that,
so
you have to,
tell me what it's worth to you then.
I told you what it's worth to me, but I'm trying to see if I can work with you and make something happen. But instead, you're trying to argue with me. So do you want to sell the lot or do you not want to sell the lot?
I want to sell the lot, but what's the highest money you're willing to offer?
So you're saying that you have an offer from somebody for $150,000 and you didn't take it.
No.
Okay. So if $150,000 is not enough for you, and that's really, what somebody cash would pay and barely break even or make very little money on, then I don't know how you're expecting to even make sense for anybody to make sense of this. When lots are selling for $45,000 for a 9,000 square foot cleared piece of property.
Because I'm not worried about what anybody else, how much money anybody else makes. All I'm concerned about me making money. Now, if
But
somebody can
you
pay
as
for the
a
lot, they get
you as a seller, it's not about being worried about how much money somebody else makes. But if you're a seller, you need to have a clear path for somebody that purchases your property as to what could this property be used for. Otherwise, that individual would never be able to even make you an offer in the first place. And if they do, they're most likely scamming you. Because if you don't know what the benefit is of the other party, then what's the point of doing business with them?
right. You're correct. You're correct. But I don't have a number in mind. Like I said, it goes to the higher bid, the highest bids,
Mm-hmm.
and the highest bid I got is 150,000. So you tell me where you could pay from there.
Okay. So let me ask you this. This person that offered $150,000, are they buying it cash, and did you vet them as a credible cash buyer?
Well, they're one of the companies that call you, same like you guys. But I put out the application over there. And they keep
But see,
calling me.
that's the
So,
difference, because most companies that you talk to, that you fill out an application with, they're not real companies. They're marketing gimmicks. What they do is they collect people's information, they put properties under contract, but they don't actually perform or buy houses. They put properties under
And
contract and they send it to guys like me who actually do buy properties, and they try to put a markup on it. What we do is
And
we
that's the same
actually
thing.
buy properties. Well, hold on. We actually buy properties and develop them. And the reason you can find a differentiation between us and them is I can provide you a copy of our bank statement, which would serve as proof of funds to show you that we are legitimate and we can buy it in the first place, which 95% of people you talk to on the internet wouldn't even be able to do that. I can show you HUD statements from other properties that we've purchased in the past in that area. And I can also show you or introduce you to other sellers that we've done business with in a very recent time frame who can attest and vouch for us to show you that we are credible buyers. All three of those things would almost never be provided by anybody else. They'll shoot you numbers and they'll shoot you offers, but they're not legitimate companies who actually buy and sell real estate.
well,
So the
I mean,
fact that somebody
everybody could say-
if somebody told you, hey, I'll pay you $150,000, that's worth, the paper that they write it on, if that. Because if you haven't vetted them and you haven't verified they're a legitimate cash buyer, that offer is as good as, the email they write it.
Well, it haven't reached that far yet, so I haven't had time to do no research because I haven't accepted their offer.
Mm-hmm.
So when that time comes, I'm pretty sure my lawyer will do that for me.
Okay. But wouldn't that be more important before you waste your lawyer's time to actually make sure that the person you're dealing... Because those three things are super easy. If you ask them for proof of funds, I'm pretty sure they'll crumble just right there and wouldn't be able to send you a copy of their bank statement. Most people would send you a letter that's typed up on a PDF that says, oh, this person is qualified to purchase a house.
Well, when that time comes, I'll figure out a way how to deal with it. When the time
Okay.
comes that I accept an offer. But
So
till then,
here's
what
a real
they
question I have for you. When should we talk where you'd be actually ready to make the sale happen? Because I think what's going to happen is the following. We've spoken back in June or July. It's November now. I think you'll probably talk to 5 or 6 other people who just, you fill out forms with them or they call you out of the blue, whatever the case is. Somebody will give you a high number. You will sign with them. They will not be able to perform, and they'll probably walk out on you either on the day of closing or call you back and try to get a better deal to try to sell it to a guy like me. And then after all of that happens, you'll be like, well, either I'm going to go list it with a realtor or let me call somebody like Sam up and actually sell the property for cash. So what I'm trying to understand is, when should I call you back so that we can potentially go and skip all of this?
Well, if you call me back and you don't have another number higher than the 150 for me to consider or think about, then it doesn't make sense you calling me back because I've told you what the highest figure is and you haven't given me your other figure. You wanted me to tell you, okay, I'm going to sell you this property for that, and this is what you want. It's not going to work like that. Like I said again, whoever comes in with the highest offer, I might consider it. But like I told you, somebody already beat your offer, It doesn't
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if they can afford it or they can't.
Yeah, but Sam, I want to make sure we compare. Sam, I want to make sure we
when that
compare
time comes,
apples
you
to
can be telling me the
apples.
same thing.
But I want to
Okay,
make sure
so
we
I want to
compare
compare
apples to apples, because if you're telling me that somebody beat my offer and they're a legitimate cash buyer that you vetted, that's one thing. But if you tell me somebody just gave you a number, you don't even know if they're real or not, that's another thing.
Okay, so you're giving me, you haven't given me a number, and I can't tell you, okay, let me vet you. So you're telling me the same thing they're telling me. So what's your number?
So
And if I
if
consider it,
my
then I'll
cash
vet it.
number, my cash
If not,
number is
I
not
can't
going to
do
be,
anything.
my cash number is not going to be much different. If I give you a higher number, are you going to be open to selling this property on terms and not cash?
I'm not a bank. I can't do terms. I can't tell you, okay, I give you 30 years to pay up for the property and charge you 5% interest.
I
I'm
don't
not a
need
bank.
30
I don't do that.
years. I don't need 30 years, and you don't need to be a bank.
And exactly. So why would I buy the terms? I need to move on with other things.
Because I can potentially get you more money. If the only thing you care about is getting more money for the property, I could potentially get you a little more money for the property, potentially even beat the $150,000 offer, but I can't pay that in
And when you
cash
say-
because money
when you say
costs
a little
money.
bit, and when you say a little bit more money, what are you talking about? 10, 15, $20,000 more?
Sure.
That's not worth it for me to sit down and wait. That's not worth it for me to sit down and wait. Who's gonna wait for $20,000 or $30,000 for 3, 4, 5 years?
When did I ever mention a time frame?
Well, like I said, no matter what it is, it's time. I need
Of
to move
course.
forward.
But you've been telling me this since June, so 6 months went by and nothing has happened anyway. We could have had this process started,
So
and I could have got you paid
You
in.
want to make it happen. Give me a figure that you think that is worth it. And if it's something that's thing, I will consider it. If it's not worth it, then I'll tell you no. It's very simple.
But I've already given you a figure, though. And you haven't
But
given
as
me
I
a
told
figure
you,
back.
it's-
You just said that somebody shot you a $150,000 offer. You don't even know if they're real or not.
Okay, and I told him I'll think about it. So what does that tell you? And
Nothing.
you offered me you telling me 110,000. Of course, I'm not going to take 110,000. Somebody offering me more.
If
Then
they're
I'll
real.
be stupid to do.
If they're real.
Because, listen, again, we're going to go back to this. If it's real or not, I'm the one who has to deal with it.
Sure. Not me.
So, are you going to give me another figure, call me back, or what are you going to do?
I can't really call you back with another figure for cash. If you're going to be open to terms, we can potentially discuss it.
All right. So then I guess this might not be a property that you're willing to purchase then, because I can do consignments.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. If we don't do business, I mean, we might cross paths in some other ways in the future.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. All right, Sam. Well, I appreciate your time. Good luck with this. If anything changes, you have my number.
Good.
Sam, you're muted.
Tony,
I told you he's prickly, man.
you gotta love that guy.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Did you spend more
yeah.
time with him than you would have because you were on the call with us?
Probably yes. Probably would have spent maybe 10 minutes less, 5 to 10 minutes less. Because once I feel like I'm starting to go in circles with somebody, I don't really repeat the conversation. But one thing I do want to tell you, I do believe he, even at $150,000, there is potential with that deal. Because he's not wrong. Somebody did buy. Let me show you guys the map. Okay, you guys can see this, right? Okay, hold on. You can see this, right? Okay, so this is the house in front of his parcel. Let's see. So this is his parcel right here. So it could be subdivided like either this way, right? Towards this street, or it could be subdivided this way towards 8th Street, and you can put 3 houses on here. Now, somebody did genuinely pay $160,000 for this shack in front of his parcel, which was 2 times smaller. So somebody did buy this for $160,000 and cleared the lot and is going to build one or maybe two houses on here. So that does, tell a story that this might be worth a little more money. The lots I was talking to him about were these two. They each sold for 45 grand. If you can get 3, maybe even 4, you probably can get 4 lots of that size. This size right here, over here. Because it looks like they're all about the same frontage, right? So they should allow maybe even up to 4 houses over here. And if that's the case, and each one of them is worth $45,000 just for the lot, then, that's almost 220 grand in potential. And if it's a builder, it would be super valuable to have 4 lots right next to each other, right? So there is potential to do business with this guy, but I do think he needs to go through that cycle of somebody burning him before he considers a lower number. And maybe even going through that 1 or 2 times. Because right now, all he had stuck in his head was somebody offered him 150 and he's trying to get a higher number. But did you notice how he was just super standoffish? And anytime he tries to bring the price up, I just try to revert and go into some other angle and talk to him about other things, right? I don't want to get stuck on one topic and just argue with him. And then sometimes I'll point those things out. I'd say, hey, listen, either you want to sell this property or you want to just sit here and argue with me, just to call him out on those things. Because he was just trying to be argumentative. I was just trying to mirror his energy, but at one point you just have to call it out and try to bring him on the same page with you.
He's waiting for the magical offer, not any realistic numbers. You're muted again, Sam.
Miriam says, how do I handle someone that she is between getting the rental herself when the home is in Jacksonville and she lives in Colorado, and talking to a wholesaler and she's complaining about time? I have no idea what you're asking, Miriam.
So I have a lead that a prospect. I'm working with her, but somebody got her a higher offer. Yeah, we know the higher offers because they are just waiting for somebody to purchase the home, so they're not closing yet. Then when I follow up with her, she's like, well, actually, I'm just thinking to do the renovation myself, and then I'm gonna flip it myself. And I had to go over, give her some pain for what she's trying to do because she's in Colorado, she's not local.
Yeah.
And just showing her. So I keep following up with her to see if she realizes that, pretty much my offer is the one that she should go with, but she just in a waiting
So she has an offer from a wholesaler, she has an offer from you, and she's considering doing the flip herself?
Yes.
Okay. So I would segregate those into 2 different conversations. I would first try to do exactly what I just did, which is just shit on that person and say, hey, listen, they are not credible. Here's why they are potentially not credible. Ask them for proof of funds, ask them for a copy of a bank statement, ask them for recent HUDs for other properties that they have purchased that show their company as the company. And also, a lot of the times, I would ask them for that offer. And I'd say, listen, I will try to beat that offer if it's a legitimate offer. Can you send the offer over to me? A lot of the times they will. And what I do is I also say, I'm not an attorney, but I've looked at thousands of contracts throughout my career. I would be happy to just take a look at this for you for free. Hold on, guys. We'll call them back. So I will just take a look at this for you for free. And even if you don't go with me, at least you get a free review of your contract, right? And whenever they send you the contract, you're going to find flaws, like they're going to be putting a small down payment or a small deposit. So you can say, well, listen, they're not even committed. They're putting $500 as a deposit. You're going to find inspection periods that are high. You're going to find closing timeframes that are very long. You're going to find other things like assignability clauses and marketing clauses that are going to pinpoint to you being in favor. If you're the actual end buyer, it's so easy for you to pinpoint those things out because everybody else is trying to wholesale, and to them, they're writing the contract to give them as many outs as possible. When you point that stuff out to the seller, then you're putting yourself higher up. Like, listen, I'm more committed. I'm actually going to follow through with this. I don't have exits. Whereas this guy is just giving you a number to try to shop and make money off of you. So that's how you get rid of the wholesaler as an objection. But the second one is her trying to do the flip herself. For that, you just have to have a lengthy conversation and explain what she actually will be going through and try to figure out and put it quantified and put it in numbers. Hey, are you even going to make money if you do all of that? Because if you do and you want to do it, I'm all for it. I think you should do that. But let's make sure you have a plan in place that it's going to work. And most of the time, when you start going through the steps and explain things that they didn't even think of, like, hey, you're going to pay for drywall patches and you're going to pay for pressure washing you didn't account for, and you're going to have 5% in miscellaneous expenses, and you have to replace the fixtures and XYZ and windows and whatever else comes up, then you put a real budget in front of them. Most of the time, they don't even they realize that, hey, I shouldn't even be involved with something like this. Sometimes a lot of sellers will lie to you and they'll say, oh, that's not going to cost that much. That's not possible. But then you just have to have the rebuttals. Listen, I do X amount of projects. I have crews. They work for me full time. I have the cheapest labor in town. There's no way anybody would do this for that price.
I want to add to that, Sam. That was a really, really good rebuttals for sure. I want to add to that, like, you're wholesaling and you're talking shit about a wholesaler, right? So what everyone has to do, if Aldo's, shout out to Aldo with the floor, laying on the floor. So you're shitting on a wholesaler, but we are wholesaling, right? So you definitely have to get in your mind, and this sounds guru-ish, with your mindset, but you have to be the buyer. You have to firmly 100% believe in your mind that you're the buyer with 100% conviction that you are going to buy this asset. This way you're firm and then you're in a place where you can talk shit about that wholesaler, and then you can go and wholesale it afterward.
Thank you.
Yes, that's good. That's a really good point. And Miriam, you're a real buyer, so for you that should be super easy. You've purchased properties before, you know the process, you know what it takes to buy a house. So for you, it should be simpler than anybody else,
But
right?
also, what everyone has to know is it's cool to be prepared to really buy the stuff also. So everyone here should be preparing to really buy assets and take them down if you have to, especially if they're great deals. I mean, hard money, it's just the cost of doing business. So you can get hard money for a 1.5 to 2 points, pay some interest, take those assets down if you have to. I mean, we're all on the journey to be real estate investors. And in shit, April Giuliano has raised $11 million. So we're all wanting to get on her bandwagon and raise more private money. But seriously though, we should be acting firmly like buyers. It's going to take you further away. If you don't, and you have that doubt and hesitation in your voice, I mean, you're going to lose 50% of all your deals.
Tony, your question.
Yeah. I've been coming across a lot of properties where the person bought it like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. In general, I'm sure you guys may have seen these as well, but like, what is it like? I was almost thinking in the same terms of like, once you drive a car off a lot, it loses like 10%, 20% of value. Like, is there a number that you guys can kind of go with?
For new construction homes?
Yeah, like they just bought it brand new, and 6 months later they're looking to leave. 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, in those situations, there's only two things or two strategies that would probably work. And I think most of you guys know one of them is just doing sub 2 transaction. So as soon as I see that they bought it in like 2020, 2021, automatically, before I even get into motivation or anything else, to me, that's a sub 2 deal. So I'm prepping to ask the right questions to get the information about how much is the mortgage on that property, how much is the mortgage balance, how much is the payment, how much is the interest rate, and all of that. Because the offer I'm going to make work with that type of deal is the sub 2 offer. There's really no other alternative. Outside of, there's another alternative that we do, which is we're able to do a short sale for them without their involvement. So essentially, instead of buying the property, we would buy the deed from them, and then we would go and short sell the property, negotiate a short sale with a bank, and then go and sell it on an open market as a novation. So we have an attorney firm that we work with, and they just take a cut of those deals, and they're able to do them for us, so-called pro bono. So they don't ask anything up front. They just take a cut of the deal after it's sold, right? We also have attorneys that would do similar stuff for us for probate deals, right? So if you're basically have to pay for probate or you're agreeing to do a probate, we would negotiate with attorneys to do to get paid at closing after the property sells, right? So they do the probate and then they get paid after the property sells. So in a lot of cases, when you're dealing with no equity, the two strategies that really work is sub 2 or what I just described, which is basically a short sale in the house. With sub 2, for everybody who doesn't know, it's essentially taking over the mortgage that's in place. So the mortgage remains in place in the name of the seller, and then the deed transfers over to you or to your entity as the new buyer. So you get control of the deed, but the mortgage remains in place and you don't pay off the mortgage. You just continue to pay on behalf of the seller. Now, there are a lot of objections that those people will or should have with transactions like that. A couple of large objections like that is most of the time when people are trying to sell and go somewhere, they want to go move to another house and potentially buy another house. If the mortgage isn't being paid off, their question should or will be, well, if the mortgage remains in place, how am I going to get another loan, right? Especially if it's VA, then, well, how am I going to get another VA loan? And there's a few workarounds around that. One of them is you can buy it on a contract for deed instead of a mortgage takeover. And that way, they basically consider the contract for deed as you lease the property from them. And then the option agreement that you have in place just gives you the right to purchase the property for whatever the mortgage balance is. And then another workaround is you can buy it. And if they don't have to buy something immediately, if you can make payments for 12 months straight through a servicing company, you can then show proof of that servicing company. And that servicing company will show that the payments have been made by another entity. And in that case, they will be able to wipe that debt off of their debt to income ratio, at least 75% of it, to be able to qualify for a new loan, right? So if they're going to go and get a VA loan again, or an FHA loan, or whatever loan, again, their debt to income ratio won't be affected if they wait the 12 months. And most people are not ready to buy a house immediately after they sell theirs, right? Most of the time. Go ahead.
What would you do if you got a lead that came across your desk, right? And say it's a newer build, 2014, 2018, right? They haven't paid their mortgage in a year, so they owe more than the home's value. And their mother bought $100,000 worth of solar panels, and that's a lien on the property, and didn't make any payment on it. Can you give us an exit for that?
Yes. So we would
This
go
is
and
actually a
wipe.
deal that we're transacting right now.
So we would wipe that debt off, right? So especially when it's solar panel companies, a lot of them tend to go out of business. So if they've bankrupted, then it's easy to wipe that debt off, because you essentially just dispute that debt. And if the company is, dissolved and it's bankrupt and it's non-existent anymore, they can't really put a lien on your property with no entity in place. So it's easy to get those loans wiped out. And as far as the mortgage, if the property is also super over leveraged and it has a lot of debt, you would essentially just negotiate a short sale with a bank, because no bank or almost no bank, except for companies that are doing reverse mortgages, right? So reverse mortgages, instead of you paying the mortgage, they actually pay you, and they just accrue interest, and they're waiting for you to die and for them to take your house. So except for reverse mortgage companies, it's very easy to go to the lenders and negotiate short sales with them, because for them to go through a foreclosure process is going to cost them $40,000 to $50,000 on
Right,
average.
now let me ask this. So if you go to bat for the seller and you either argue to wipe out the solar panels or limit them down even to 10%, right?
Mhm.
And then you negotiate a short sale with the bank. So now you've created magical equity. What's going to stop the seller from cold feet? How are you going to protect your interest after all that work? What if they get cold feet and they decide not to sell or to refuse to pay to sign the closing paperwork? How can you protect yourself even further?
So that's a good question. I wouldn't need their permission anymore, because the way we would structure that transaction is, instead of them giving me approvals and this being a regular contract, they deed the property over to us. So we pay them up front and they quit claim the property over into our entity. Once we have the deed, we control the asset. So once we control the asset, we're able to go and do all the negotiations, because we also get a limited power of attorney from that seller. So we can negotiate anything on their behalf with a bank. And once we control the asset, then we don't need their approval. At that point, we just go and sell the house, and we're the ones who are selling it. So we sign off on the closing docs on the BC closing. So we create that equity in the property by reducing the debt, and then we go and capture that equity by selling the property on the market as a regular novation deal.
Oh yeah. That's amazing. So is there at this point in time, because this tricky market, once the end of 2021, 2022 hit, the market became a lot trickier and hedge funds exited the market and it was a lot tougher. Buyers started getting more aggressive and sellers started getting more hesitant to sell real estate. So would you say that this new market, Sam, over the last couple of years taught us to be way more versatile with exit strategies?
I would say so. I mean, that's really the only thing that keeps businesses afloat right now, is the fact that they are not making cash offers only. So like even this guy, right? He was an asshole, but at the end of the day, I'm going to try to make it work somehow with him, even if I have to just say, listen, let me pay you a higher price, but I can't pay that all cash because it wouldn't make any sense for me. Money costs money, right? So I will try to work out some kind of a term agreement with him. And you would make it seem so that you're trying to make it work no matter what, and you have an exit for almost any type of situation. Now, there are going to be situations where the seller just is asking for way too much. I don't care really for his attitude or what his attitude is like. At the end of the day, if it's a deal, it's a deal, right? Whether he's being an asshole, he's not being an asshole is really irrelevant. Are they ready to sign the contract for the right price or not? That's the only thing that matters.
So
So
part of what I'm hearing from you, Sam, you're not exactly saying these words, but the way that I'm hearing it is part of the skill of sales is to treat everyone like a millionaire, make them feel like they won, even if it seems like you're getting walked all over, grin and bear it. And if you make 50K at the end of the day, who won?
kind of. Now, I want to take away that word everybody, because I'm not going to treat everybody like that.
Fair
Sometimes
enough.
they have to be shot. And so, like, I call it a punch in the face. Sometimes you have to talk to people the way they understand it, right? If they are not on the same level as you, and they're just being too mean or rude or whatever the case is, you just have to level the playing field. And sometimes you have to mirror their energy. Sometimes you just have to bring them back to earth and say, hey, we're having a regular discussion. There's no reason for you to get upset or emotional over this. And just cool the whole conversation and the tone down. So, but in most cases, yes, you want to create a mirage of control by the seller, but the real control should remain with you. So you should lead and guide the transaction and not and try to stay away from just arguing with people back and forth. Even though
like
arguing helps sometimes.
So like Mr. Wonderful says, in very few cases, you have to take the seller behind the barn and shoot them.
Yes. Yes.
Got it.
Now I wouldn't
Fair
shoot
enough.
this guy though, because maybe on this call, I made it seem like I'm shooting this deal. This deal still remains in place. I'm still going to pursue this. I think it's not a bad lead. He's not asking. I mean, he probably wants like 160, 165, maybe 170 grand, right? And even at that number, it might be a deal. We would have to look a little further into it. Maybe that's when we start analyzing it. But at the end of the day, it still might be a deal. So I'm not going to shoot this guy down just because he's being a little mean. But before you ask any more questions,
You know what well, one quick thing I wanted to comment on that, and I want to make sure everyone caught it. Very simple tactic you used to get them on the line. What was that?
I just call him from a different number.
From another number. Yeah, you guys don't settle for people not picking up. You know, double dial them, triple dial them, use different numbers. And look at, I mean, that's a great example of what just happened. That stuff works because, you know, salespeople shouldn't just be making 100 calls a day and think they had a great day. That's all bullshit, man. You have to have conversations with people and we have to do creative things to get them on the line.
Right, right. Yeah, because, and then the other thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, I called him twice, he didn't pick up, and I called him the third or the fourth time. So if they're not answering a couple of times, it doesn't mean that that person is not going to answer. You want to call them as many times as you possibly can. Anybody has any questions before I jump into the second call of the day?
I have one more question. What's one more thing you could have done to try to get him on the line? Or actually, if you would have bait texted him, what would you have said?
I would have said something like,
Have a new
Sam,
offer ready?
No, Sam, the market has changed. We need to talk as soon as possible about, and then maybe just leave it there at about, not even mention the property or anything else. Or something like, hey, I need to talk to you as soon as possible. Please call me as soon as you see this text. And I would try to not reference or refer it to the property so that they're super curious and they're not even expecting, you know, to talk about the property or what the conversation is going to be. Because I would rather catch them off guard and talk to them when they're not expecting to talk to me about that deal.
One thing I've always liked that actually gets a good response and gets people on the phone is just saying, I think I messed up.
Yeah. I've also seen some people text something like, you're an idiot. And then everybody responds to that. So, and then
That's
you
a
just
tough
say,
one.
oh yeah, this was,
I don't-
then you just say this was meant for somebody else. I'm sorry. I just confused the two contacts. So you just have to have an out.
You
I got a
send the
question.
text and then you call them and then they pick up because they want to see who said that to them.
Yes. Yes. And they're
Oh, you just went out. Who had a question? Was it Riley?
Yeah, I got a question. So I
Hey,
got
man.
this lady that's in Orange Park, and we've been under contract with them, but the payoff had came back a little bit higher than what we had it under contract at. So
nice.
what's so we were trying to negotiate with them with the bank and stuff like that, but you had mentioned something about the taking over a quick claim deed and then having power of attorney and negotiating a short sale with the bank. So in this case scenario, we have it under contract at 195, and I think they ended up owing like 257, which is a huge difference. And ARV on this house was only like 300, I think, or 315. So how could we you know, how do we go about this? Do we just cancel with them, or do we, you know, do we do what you
Worst
said?
Does it need
case,
repairs?
Yeah.
How much in repairs?
I think it was at like 60, I think.
Oof.
does she need any money? Does she need a couple grand or something?
They were
Or does
looking
she
to
need
do
a lot?
that. We already had an end buyer for it as well, so
How much was the end buyer gonna pay?
210.
210. Let me ask you this. Are they able to just bring 57,000 to the closing?
No.
Why?
They haven't, I mean, clearly they haven't been paying the mortgage. It's a husband and wife, and you
I'm
know,
just kidding. I'm just
so.
kidding. I understand.
I don't think you're
we
kidding,
just
Sam, because we've had that.
Yeah, we've had one situation when the seller did bring almost $40,000 to close it because he had debt.
Okay.
But most cases that's not going to be the case because they wouldn't even have the money to begin with.
Right.
Yes, scenario like this, you can't even take it over because the debt is just so, unless it's at like 2% interest rate. Is it something crazy like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, he's referring to just deeding the property and then negotiating with the bank.
Yeah, I understand, but that's what I'm saying. They really don't have any other options outside of that. And in
Right.
that case, you may be able to keep that buyer in place and just sell it to them, but they have to wait for a long time. Typically, cash buyers don't like to wait a long time. But what can be done is she can just deed the property over. Maybe we'll give her $1,000 or $1,500. We'll buy the deed and we'll just get a short sale negotiated. And then after the short sale is negotiated and approved, we can go back to your buyer and just sell it to them. Or we probably have a buyer, they'll pay even more money.
Okay.
Right,
And
Dom?
then if you want us to do that with you, Riley, we can partner up and do that with you.
Okay. And then how would the short sale work? Because I'm not too familiar, if I'm being honest, with like the short sale situation. Um,
So
it's
I
about
don't think
time.
we would have time to get into all the details of that today. I can
Yeah.
cover it next session, but in a nutshell, they deed the property over to us. They give us a limited power of attorney. From that point on, we practically don't need them. So we can just go to the bank and start negotiating it. And we have an attorney firm that will handle all of that. As soon as it gets approved, then we just go sell the property because it's already deeded into our name. So we
Okay.
don't need to have her permission or her to come to closing again or anything like that. She deeds the property over, she's done. She wipes her hands and she walks away.
Okay. Cool.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
And then Riley, you can just submit that lead through this link that we're gonna put in and just put all the details in there. And we can get you connected with the short sale.
All right, cool. I got you.
Good deal. Anybody else has questions before I jump into the second call? I know Brylan has a question.
Oh, shout out to Brylan. He's our office neighbor.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I did hear you on that call, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna join in on this and see if we can close them. So I'm looking forward to it.
Did you
Hopefully
hear
my
it from the door
computer-
behind you?
Yeah, hopefully I'm not echoing right now, but I could hear you on that call, and I was like, oh, he's close. So let me tune in on this one. But yeah, get the
Nice.
second one in.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to Ermal. Ermal's in our market. He's in his car right now. Another
Our
car
mouse
dude. You guys
flipping
gotta
our property right now.
Is he? Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He just froze up. He got nervous.
You got nervous? David is asking, do you still have to make a payment on that? So you're probably referring to the short sale. The answer is no. At that point, once you initiate a short sale, essentially you're acting as a seller, right? Because you basically have limited power of attorney. And in that case, you're essentially going to the bank and saying, hey, listen, I can't make payments on this mortgage anymore. This is just in a nutshell, right?
Hello,
What the
everyone.
attorneys are going to do. So you'd go to the mortgage company and you'd say something like, hey, I can't make payments on this mortgage anymore. The debt is more than what the value of the house is. We need to figure out a solution to get this off your books and to get this sold and get the debt closed out. And at that point, you just start negotiating how much they're going to go down. Because if you're making payments, that kind of defeats the point of the whole short
Right.
sale to begin with.
I just figured you'd have to at least catch them up on what they're back.
No, that's even worse because if you catch them up, then they see, oh, this person's actually making payments.
Gotcha.
and they
Okay.
treat you worse.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the more messed up you can make that situation, the better it is to negotiate money off with the bank, because they just want to get rid of you, get you off their books. You know what I
Now,
mean?
where could you get those contracts at to basically do that power of whatever attorney or whatever that is?
It's a quit claim deed and a limited power of attorney. Nothing fancy.
Nothing
So a
fancy.
regular quit claim deed and a power of attorney that you get signed.
Okay.
So nothing crazy. You can have any title company draft that up.
Okay, cool.
What if that
David,
short
do you
sale?
have a lot of crappy deals that need that strategy? Is that what's going on?
Now I have this one lady. The problem is she doesn't have a phone. And so the house is in a desirable area here in Bixby. She's about to lose it. She's about to lose it for 85,000. The house after fixed up will be worth about 300,000. She wanted walk away money, which I was going to do, but now she's just being real short with me. And it's like, I don't know how much to push on it to kind of get it. But she's
those
about to...
deals actually end up being pretty good deals, because typically the bank will take, I mean, with the strategy that we use and with the firm that we use, they would take like 60 cents on the dollar. So if they have a debt of 100K, the bank will settle for like 60 grand, and then you go sell the property for 90 and you make your spread.
Well, she's about to lose it. We just found out it's going to the sheriff's sale on the 12th. So she's about to lose it here shortly.
It needs that strategy.
And so I'm trying to find a way to get it, because she's not willing to work with me. I've given her exactly what she wants, but she's being just real short and hard to work with. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose it. It's 85,000. You know, there's a $300,000 ARV on it after only putting 70 in it. And then if I wanted to, if I could get it for that price, I could put 15 in it and turn it into a long-term rental quick.
Yeah, that is not even a short sale. That
No,
you just have to buy that thing.
Well, that's what I want to do, but I can't get her to sign a contract because she keeps telling me this other person's buying it. And I'm like, well, do they have a contract with them? You know, are they ready to go? Because I'm ready to sign. I already got the money in place.
You need Magical Sam to call her.
You can't. She doesn't have a phone.
I
can't even
mail her
get
a
a
track
phone number.
phone, dude.
Huh?
Mail her a track phone.
I might have to
They're
do
only
that.
$20.
Yeah, like here you go.
So what I would recommend you doing?
You mail her a track phone.
No. I'll make it.
Well, UPS will tell you when it got delivered, and as soon as it gets delivered,
I'll make it easier. Call an Uber. Call an Uber to her house and have the Uber driver go in with a speakerphone and just talk to her over the phone.
Well, I went to her door. She's answered. She's just, you know, I got it handled. I'm like, you're about to lose it. She's like, well, I'm going to the probate tomorrow. I even was going to offer her a ride.
She's just nonsensical.
Yeah. And this other person, she's saying
some sellers are crazy.
Sometimes you just need Ray Donovan to force her to sign.
But how do I turn around and collect that without letting it go to the sheriff's sale?
You just close fast. You
Well, no,
sign the
but
contract.
if she won't sign, and they're going to close in the sheriff's sale on the 12th. I want to try to get...
I mean, you can't close a deal that you don't have under contract.
Gotcha.
How are you going to close that?
And they have to sign closing docs.
Yeah, they have to sign closing docs and the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like saying, how do I get full without eating food?
Right.
Can't.
Right.
Hayden, you had a question?
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to wrap my head around, what if that short sale number comes in higher than what you could actually sell it for? But then you kind of answered it with the, you know, you're looking at like 60% right now. So that kind of answered it.
Yeah. Now there's no guarantee that it would happen, right? So that's why you want to give as little money as possible to these people. Because really they have no choice or no other choice other than your choice.
Right.
But essentially, you want to give them as little money as possible. And if you can't get it done, you can't negotiate the short sale, then it just goes. Now, one gangster move you can do is you can get them to sign the assignment of beneficial interest to the proceeds of the foreclosure sale. So if the foreclosure happens and the property sells at auction and the debt gets paid off and there's any remainder amount of money, you can claim that as the actual owner now because the property was quit claimed over to you.
Oh,
so
shit.
you can't get it done. and it just forecloses and it sells, you can potentially still get some money out of it and at least recoup your investment.
That's fire.
Yeah. Cool. So everybody who wants to stick with me, I want to make another 2 calls. I had 1 call come in, and then I also want to call this lady and see if I can close them live. So let me share my screen. Here we go. Can you guys hear the ringing? Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Kendra.
Hello. Hey.
Hello. Hey, this is Sam. So I got your text from you. So it seems like you're on an email.
Yes, she has one. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right.
I
So
know,
what I can
right?
do is, I know you're just making our life so much easier. Can I offer you a job
But
at my firm?
I'm probably going to go over there and have to help her, but she does have one.
Okay, wonderful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draft the agreement up and send it over to you guys. When would we be
Okay.
able to jump on a call to discuss the contract?
So you're going to do it after you do the agreement?
Well, the
Tomorrow?
agreement is basically the contract. So essentially, I'm just gonna fill it out. It's only 3 pages long. It's not long at all. It would take 5 minutes. But our company policy is we want to make sure we go through the whole agreement with you guys to make sure that you're all on the same page, you understand everything, you have no questions, and only then we can actually sign it.
Okay. Okay. So I know she has appointments every morning for like 3 hours. She takes one of her clients. So it'll probably be about 4 o'clock would be a good time.
So in about an hour and a half? Oh, it can be today?
I can call her today and see, but she has a client that has cancer and she takes him for his treatment. And then she's usually home about 4 o'clock.
So what we can do is I can go over because it seems like you're really the driving force on this, right? So what we
Yes.
can do is I can go through the whole agreement with you if I have your permission to do that.
Okay.
And if everything seems fine to you, then I can just show you how to get it signed on your end, and then you can help me get everything signed from their end as well. So basically, I'll show you exactly how to sign the agreement on your end, and then you can just go to your aunt and help her log into her email and sign it as well. How is that?
Okay.
That's fine?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Now, when would be a good time for you then? Can we do it in like 30 minutes?
About 5. I'm at work. I usually get off at 6, but about 5 o'clock today, I'll pretty much be here by myself. But I can text you when everybody's pretty much gone, and I can do it then.
Perfect. So 5 o'clock it is. In the meantime, I'll prepare the agreement, and then we can go to get it signed tonight, and then you can sign it on your end, and then you can help the other 2 ladies get it signed on their end. Okay?
And if it's before then, I'll text you and let you know.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, sounds good, Kendra. I'll talk to you at 5 today then.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I could have probably got this signed with her live, but it's just going to take a long time to fill out the contract and go through it with you guys. So I'll just get it signed at 5 o'clock, and then we'll show you guys the signed agreement. This is a house in 32202 in downtown. We're going to get it for about $30K, and we're going to be selling it for like $45,000. It's just a small little shack house, about 800 square feet, 3 bed, 1 bath. Needs, 30 to 40 grand in work, and it would be, you know, a rental. So we'd probably sell it to a rental buyer. Does anybody buy houses like that in Jacksonville? Miriam? All right, Miriam, maybe.
Yes, I'm here. I'm driving now. Can you hear me?
I gotcha. Yep. Yeah, so let us lock this up. We'll put this under contract and you get first dips. How's that?
Sounds great.
All right. Did Matt say he'd possibly be interested? Matt, if you buy this house, there's only one way I'm gonna sell it to you, is if you pay with the cashier's check. Are you okay with that? No wires. Where is Matt? Did he go out? Oh, it says I'm the assistant. I'll talk to him. You're muted. You're muted. I gotcha. So would you guys be cool if the next training that we do it on sub 2 and novations? So we'll keep it to those 2 exit strategies. Maybe we should probably only do 1. So maybe we can do sub 2 next training. Is that okay with everybody? And are you guys even interested in that? April's probably not interested.
Let's do it.
Cool. Oh, what we'll do is, that's a good idea. So we'll create a poll in All Lead Suck right now, and we'll put 3 different topics for the next training. Can you guys go and vote for us? And can you guys do me a huge favor? It seems like we're growing. This time we had like 21 or 22 people in the Zoom. Would you guys be able to take a quick snapshot or a quick video of the Zoom, post it in your stories, and tag us? Just quickly with your phone. And I'll put our social medias in here. Boom. And we'll repost all of your stories. So this one's mine. And then I think Lewis is sold by Lewis 904. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if you guys can just do that, we would really appreciate that. We would like you guys to bring other people in here. If you have questions, if you have newbies who are just training, starting to get deals or want to get deals, we would love to have all those people in here, and we'll try to give away as much value as possible. And hopefully April Giuliano will agree to partner with us so we can have more people in this group. Because she's been ghosting us. We've been calling her and she's not answering, so we have to
I
call
have
her
a
from
couple
different
people in
numbers.
this group right now.
Really?
I do. You were just talking to one of them.
Hey. Who do you have here who needs the most amount of help?
Dave.
Needs a deal today.
Easy.
Dave, how do we get you a deal?
He's
by
already doing
next
deals.
week?
He wants more deals. He's scaling.
Are
Well,
you here locally, Dave, or where are you?
No, I'm in Oklahoma. I wish I was.
Oh.
We don't have meetups here. Like, it is so hard to find anybody to really do meetups.
Really?
The groups we have are like everybody. Like, there's just tradesmen. They're not just investors.
Wow. Yeah. How many people live in Oklahoma?
Oh, I don't know that number.
Are you in Oklahoma City or you?
No,
Where?
I'm in Tulsa, closer to Tulsa, in Bixby.
Okay.
I'm about an hour and a half away from Oklahoma City.
And are you doing deals over there or virtually nationwide?
Right now, I'm just trying to stay here to kind of get, everything going and then get a good footing. Because like right now I just talked to the bank and we possibly might have a bank to loan to the 7 new builds that I'm trying to do. We already got 1 built. So I'm going to try to get all 7 of them built at one time. Because I'd like to just do new construction and new construction only. Much easier.
Well, we have an overpriced lot for you in Orlando or in Apopka.
I would love to, but I can't do there yet. I'm still trying to work here.
All right. Well, good deal. I'd love you to keep coming in, and then we'll try to figure out some kind of plan for you and provide as much value so that you can scale and get more deals done, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody joining. Go vote on the All Lead
Yeah.
Suck page. And anybody else has any questions? April?
I'm
We good?
good. Yeah. Great.
Awesome.
I just submitted
All
that
right, guys.
over too as well.
Cool. We'll take a look at it as soon as I get off, Riley.
All right, sounds good, bro.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
See you guys next Wednesday at 1.